Bubbles of heaven. The 6 phases of a phase transition will be explained in more detail. Each of those phases is a complete stage of a planetary ascension process and is estimated to last somewhere between a few months to a few years. This is as close as you will ever get to an answer to your question, when will the event happen? On COBRA's blog, 2012portal.blogspot.com. The first phase of phase transition is called interface evaporation phase. This phase started in 2012 and ended on January 21st, 2019. Interface evaporation phase means that thermal flux, in our case, energy from the galactic central sun, is administered to the interface, in our case, the surface of the planet, and creates a convection current above the interface surface. This equals the awakening of the surface population between 2012 and 2019. The second phase of phase transition is called bubble condensation phase. This phase started on January 21st, 2019, and is ongoing. This phase means that enough thermal flux has been administered to the surface to allow pure phase transition from liquid water, matrix society, into water vapor, galactic society, in some extremely small and isolated areas on the surface. During the bubble condensation phase, those bubbles of heaven emerge, repattern, and reorganize in full accordance to the Ising model. During this phase, the bubbles of heaven get slowly and progressively larger with less entropy, whereas the surrounding matrix society gets progressively more unstable with more entropy. This is precisely the reason why some people are guided to put less attention on outer daily politicking and more attention to inner spiritual growth. The third phase of phase transition is called bubble elevation phase. This phase sees the thermal flux from the galactic central sun rising exponentially, with more and more bubbles of heaven actively forming and matrix society actively collapsing, until the thermal flux peaks at the moment of the event. The moment of the event is the moment of critical thermal flux. The matrix society collapses, the contact is made, the entropic elements of the old society are swiftly removed, and we enter into the fourth phase. The fourth phase is called unstable film boiling phase. Bubbles of heaven have connected on the surface of the planet into a stable network, which is the film, which forms the backbone of the new society, whereas the society itself as a whole is unstable, but processing, integrating, and stabilizing. Islands of light are being fully formed with active contact. The fifth phase is called stable film boiling phase. Islands of light on the surface of the planet become active conversion/inversion zones through which individual and group ascension process is taking place. The first ascension wave with thousands of people ascending takes place. Some of them return to the surface as ascended beings and prepare the second ascension wave with hundreds of thousands of people ascending. Some of those return to the surface and prepare the surface population for the third wave. During the fifth phase, the surface population fully integrates new advanced technologies and is healed enough to accept the light as a whole. The sixth phase is called final flash phase. Phase transition is complete. The galactic central sun triggers the solar event and the planetary polar shift. Millions of people ascend in the third wave, and the rest of humanity is evacuated from the surface of the planet into the galactic fleet, which transports them to a suitable planet in the Pleiades star cluster, which will become the new home for humanity. At that moment, the surface of the planet is hit by a tsunami, which washes the planet clean. The only areas unaffected are islands of light, which are populated by advanced star beings, many of them being you. Then, the new Atlantis is being built on the new Earth. Now that you have more understanding of the overall plan, it can safely be released that the light forces have completed the construction of an underground base below northern Taiwan, which can accept 3 billion people. A similar but smaller base is being built in a certain location in Central Europe, and another one at a certain location in South America, with another one planned for Africa. These bases may be used as evacuation options. You need to understand that what we have achieved on January 21st is huge. Bubbles of heaven are the first signs of a totally new reality which belongs to the new cosmic cycle. And remember, whenever you align with the light, your life will be easier and easier. And whenever you focus on the old world falling apart, things will get worse again. Thank you. Written by COBRA and narrated by Ascension Girl.